Welcome to my presentation on becoming an end-of-life doula. In the beginning, this presentation will be divided into 4 parts. First, some background information. Second, the services that I provide. Third, my mission and vision. And finally, fourth, a summary to wrap things up. My goal is to become a professional end-of-life doula. My name is Dominick. I'm here today to tell you about a word I discovered and also a compassionate calling I have become a part of thanks to Ken and Cindy, as well as Dawn, Cindy's brother. The word I discovered is doula. What is a doula? A person who helps you to handle transitions. One of these transitions being the end of life. It may be hard to discuss, but if you take the time to pay attention, you will grow. Growth is painful, which kids know, as is grief, which adults know. I now present you with a choice. Yes, you have a choice about dying. You can choose to go with dignity and respect, or you can choose to go and let your beloved ones continue on without guidance. A doula is there simply to help the grieving process happen, to act as a companion to the person who is completing their last step. Or the doula can do both. I understand that not just anyone can be trusted with your beloved, and that is why there is a process that begins as soon as you meet me. The process is known as rapport. If rapport isn't there, then I will not be there. Here's the team of people who helped make me into the person I am today, the somewhat capable doula I am today. First is Cindy Ducker, survivor and wife of Ken Ducker, beloved. Second is Ken Ducker. He has passed, but he is still with us as a husband, a father, and beloved man. Third is Don Little, Cindy's brother and organizer of the effort to move me from being a dog sitter to being a caretaker and caregiver. Finally, last but not least, is me, Dominick Beckham. I'm the one seeking to become a doula. Here's a little information about the first person I worked for, Cindy Ducker. She is the financial and legal representative of Ken, the decision-making half of the team, and all-around organizer of the household she lives in. This is Ken Ducker. I speak in the present tense now because I believe Ken still exists. Ken was my client, but now he's free to walk and jump and pick up pennies wherever he can find them. He was part of the problem presenting itself in the form of a rare neurological disorder. He was also the guiding force behind many of the decisions made in his care, even though he struggled to speak. He has a heart to make friends out of strangers, even with his voice only a whisper and through a struggle to communicate. He is loved, cherished, and respected. Don Little is a man who needs no introduction. He is capable to handle grief of his sister and the man who decided that giving a dog sitter a chance to care for his sister's husband wasn't a bad idea. Turns out it was a really good idea. Don is full of those, and this one turned out to change my life. And here am I. I was initially only a dog sitter, then became capable of so much more as Don saw that capability and had his sister hire me on as a caregiver and companion to Ken. I must admit that grief hasn't left me unscathed either. I have not been doing the best job at 1/4 of my calling, which is caretaking, but still give care where it's needed. I have also been immersed in words and letters from people, legal letters and personal letters, The legal letters are what I refer to as logistics. Creating a meaning out of personal letters is something I have not had the serendipity until now to encounter. Another part of the logistics is writing memorial cards and creating a memorial video. Getting together photos of Ken as well as photos of Ken with family, friends, animals, the outdoors, and acting silly. He is a great guy and deserves the best memorialization I can give him. Here is a breakdown of my services and how they go. 1. Consultation. The consultation is where we find out if we are a match or not, whether we can have rapport. 2. Introductions. The introduction is the point in my service where we work together to establish rapport between ourselves and all the people involved in the care of a beloved family member. 3. Caregiving. Dignity, respect, compassion. These are the keystones of caregiving as I have learned them. 4. Caretaking. Respect, reason, and time. These are the keystones of the caretaking as I have understood them. 5. Logistics. When grief is come and logic must be handled, do you trust yourself to handle the things that need to be handled? If you do or don't, either course is wise and hard at once. Finally, here's a note about being a 24-hour doula with intermittent responsibility for the giving and taking of care of a person whose last act is not far away. Foremost, the caring for grieving people. Foremost. Then, caring for grieving people, grieving pets, and a disordered household as time allows. These priorities change with the days, and no one will be the same as others. It is time to take a break. This is a hard topic to discuss in today's society, and I do not wish to overwhelm you. Please pause the video and take a break. Here are society's current solutions to the problem of the end of life. One is the hospital. Often this is a place filled with tragedy and staffed by overworked nurses and doctors. As yet, there are only small cures for death. There is not a complete cure for death, and this fact makes the medical system all the more brittle. Another solution is hospice. They offer reprieve from constant companionship to the person doing most of the caretaking by bathing, providing medicines for, and providing palliative care. Finally, there is another solution in engaging a doula. If the fit is right between the doula and the family that chose them, then friendship develops and trust is nurtured. Just because they are presented separately doesn't mean that hospitals, hospice, and doulas are at odds with one another. A fully functioning relationship with hospitals, hospice, and a doula will provide the most benefit. Dominick's mission: compassionate act to make the world kinder, to provide dignity to the dying and lighten the load of grief on the weary. I am capable. My vocation is programming, so I handle systems for a living. I am a doula by choice. I treat my friends with dignity. Dignity and independence are the watchwords to see here. I help to allow the living and dying to process their grief. Grief is complicated and messy, often too taxing for most to bear. This is where a doula comes in. This is my progression for the respect of the rights of the living and the dying. This isn't a linear process. At times we might skip back to step 1 or jump forward to step 3. In the end, it will be a messy progression with lots of windings that happen in a way that gives dignity, respect, and care to the living and the dying. The first step is introducing myself to the family and their beloved. The second step is caregiving, which can be as simple as having a listening ear or as complex as giving respite to the person who is exhausted by anticipatory grief. The third step is caretaking, or taking care of the physical household, in terms of daily chores, pet care, as well as other more menial tasks. The fourth step is logistics, which can be as complex as making a video about the deceased, keeping record of their last name here, or as simple as filling out forms. I received a letter in the mail yesterday. It was from Cindy's cousin. Cindy's cousin writes, "Hi Dominick, my name is Susie. I am Cindy's cousin. I live in Lower Michigan with my son, Jarrett. I have been hearing Cindy talk about you to me on the telephone since you guys were in Georgia. Cindy told me you were going to be going back home to Georgia soon, and I wanted to get this card to you before you left. Thank you so much, Dominick, for all the help you've been to my cousin, Cindy, and to Ken. I heard how you have been so helpful during the past few months, and I'm very thankful to you for being here in Michigan. I hope you like coming to Michigan. I regret I haven't met you. You sound like a wonderful person. God bless you. Thank you for your kindness. To my cousins. Love and blessings, Cindy's cousin." Here is Ken's memorial card, and it has this written on it. Kenneth Floyd Ducker, March 28, 1941 to July 30th, 2023. Pennies from heaven. Whenever I went out to places like a store or a restaurant, I looked for pennies. No matter how worn, beat up, chipped, or dirty the pennies were, I found they were special to me, because I believe the Lord put those pennies in my path for a reason. On those pennies it says, "In God we trust." I put the trust in my Lord, and it became a game I played with my friend Jesus. I am now in heaven with my friend, and he has made me shiny, new, and whole again. I was worthy enough to be one of Ken's pallbearers for his body's final resting place. This is feedback I have received from families I have worked for, besides the Ducker family. My pricing structure ranges from the bare minimum of $125 per week to $500 per week at a maximum. Please unpause the video. Please pause the video to see the structure of these pricing tiers. The budget option, $125 per week, lowest sustainable price for 1 week of service. That's 1 week with 7 days of intermittent service. Includes doula companionship, home care, and cleaning logistics. Home care, taking out trash and general cleanup, and handling logistics. Please visit me on Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, YouTube, and/or WordPress. Thank you for watching, reading, and listening. If you would like to support my efforts to become a professional doula, feel like it's something you might benefit from making the world a kinder place, please consider donating to my GoFundMe page. Thank you.